I think we are on trading profit adjustment. That is what we did last week. Trading profit adjustment. We solved a question, one question in this trading profit adjustment last week. Are we together? Are we together?
Yes, sir.
So let's look at one more question so that we can move to next topic. Let's look at one more question. Let's look at one more question on trading profit adjustment. Examinable question 4. Examinable question 4. Examinable question 4. Examinable question 4. Let's look at that. Somebody can help us read the question. Examinable question 4. Somebody should help us read. Oh yeah, examinable question 4. The question goes as follows. The following information relates to New Age Nigeria Limited for the year ended 31st December 2025. Gross profit, profit on sale of investment, dividend received. The total income is 45,895,000. The question now says less other expenses. What are the expenses? Audit fees, loan interest, bad debt, depreciation, general expenses, carriage expenses, lighting, salaries and wages, rents and rates, repair and maintenance, staff welfare, telephone and postage, motor running expenses, transport expenses, donation. At the end of the day, the total net profit is giving us 25 million. We now have the following additional information is available. The additional information available is bad debt consists of the following: employee loan written off, general provision for bad debt, specific provision, bad debt recover. General expenses made up of the following. What is the summary of general expenses? Sundry expenses are liable, lunch vouchers, subscriptions, trade, social club, printings. At the end of the day, we also have another one, legal costs. For the legal costs, we have lease on new premises, customer claims. The total is 500. Repair and maintenance. We have decoration of new premises, repair to plant, renovation of old factories. Donation. What comprises of donation? Donation to a political party, donation to ICAN, donation to Boys Scout of Nigeria, donation to Society for Blind. Capital allowance as agreed with tax authority, 1,535,537. The loan interest shown above in the profit and loss is the loan interest to a friend of one of the managing staff of the company. Require compute adjusted profits and income tax liability. for 2026 year of assessment. So, ladies and gentlemen, this question, the name of the company is what? New Age Nigeria Limited. New Age Nigeria Limited is going to pay what type of tax? New Age Nigeria Limited will pay what type of tax?
Company income tax.
Company income tax. But if it is New Age Enterprise, it will pay what type of tax?
Personal income tax.
Personal income. Please, let's try to know those differences so that we will not make a mistake. You are right. Now, we start with computing adjusted profits. How do we compute adjusted profit for this question given to us? We start with net profit. What is our net profit in this question? My net profit is 25 million. 25 million, because the question is in thousands. So my net profit is 25 million. Add back the salable expenses. Now, let's go to the expenses. Audit fee, the first expenses I have. Audit fee, is it allowable or disallowable? Audit fee, is it allowable or disallowable?
Allowable.
Audit fees is allowable expenses, it's allowed. You are not going to add back. You know, I said last week, I explained that if you want to compute adjusted profit, net profit, add back what type of expenses? You add back disallowable expenses, and you less what? Non-taxable income. If you want to get your adjusted profit, the formula is net profit, add back disallowable expenses, and less what? Non-taxable income. So out of these expenses, we want to look at which expenses is disallowed. Last week, I've mentioned those disallowable expenses. I mentioned it to them. So audit fee is an allowable expense. We are not adding it back. Loan interest, interest on loan, is it allowable or disallowable? Loan interest, is it allowable or disallowable?
Is allowable.
It is allowable, provided that there is no additional information on it. In this question, there is another additional information concerning the loan interest. This loan interest of 200 million, there is an additional information concerning it. What is the additional information? Let's go to the notes. Look at the additional information F. Somebody should help me read it. Additional information F.
Says the loan interest shown in the profit or loss account is the interest on loan to a friend of one of the management staff of the company.
That loan interest is in respect of the loan given to who? A friend of one of the management staff. That loan, that means that loan, the interest is to a loan given to one of the management staff of the company, one of the friend of the management. So is the loan interest for business? Is it for business?
No.
No.
is not for business. So that loan interest we are going to treat it as a disallowable expenses since it's not for business. Because it's giving is in respect of the loan taken by one of the friends of the management staff. It's not for business. So we are going to add it back as disallowable. So we are going to add it back to the net profits. Loan interest will be added back to net profits. Now, after loan interest, what is the next item? Bad debt. Bad debt, is it allowable or disallowable? Bad debt written off is allowed. General provision for bad debt is disallowed. Why specific provision is allowed? But this bad debt of 125,000, we are giving the breakdown in the additional notes. The breakdown was given to us. Let's go to the additional notes. That 125,000, how they get it? We are giving the breakdown. What is the breakdown? One of them is employee loan written off. Employee loan written off, is it allowable or disallowable? One of the employee was given a loan. That employee now left the company. He has not feeling paying the loan. The company now write it off. They now count it as part of bad debt written off. Is it allowable or disallowable?
I think it's disallowable.
It is disallowable because it's an employee. We add it back to the net profit. General provision for bad debt. Is it allowable or disallowable?
Disallowable.
Allowable.
It is disallowable. I've said that last week. Specific provision. Is it allowable or disallowable?
Allowable.
Allowable. That means out of 125 million, the one that we are going to allow among them, the one that we are going to disallow, employee loan written off, general provision for bad debt, we add it back to the net profit. So in my computation of net profit, you will see employee loan written off 60. I want to add it back. General provision, I want to add it back. After bad debt, let's go back to the expenses. Depreciation is another expenses. Depreciation, is it allowable or disallowable?
Disallowable.
Number one, disallowable.
Number one, disallowable. Yes, you are right. It is number one, disallowable. Depreciation. You can see under disallowable expenses, the first thing I write, disallowable. Aside that, the next one is general expenses, 500,000. Is it allowable or disallowable?
Allowable.
It is allowable, provided that there is no additional note. But there is additional note on how they get that 500,000. There is additional note on how they get the 500,000. Look at it. General expenses, additional note B. General expenses is made up as follows. How they get the 500,000 in the account. They said one is sundry expenses allowable. Is this one allowed? Sundry expenses allowable. Is it allowed? It is allowed because it also even said allowable. Lunch voucher. Lunch voucher means the lunch given to staff. Is it allowable?
It's allowable.
It is allowable. It is allowable. Part of the general expenses, you have subscription. 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 How much is the subscription? Under the subscription, we have two items. Subscription for trade, subscription for social club. The sum of the two giving us 88. Which one is allowed? Which one is disallowed? Does anyone allow? Does anyone disallow?
Social club is disallowed. Trade is allowed.
Thank you very much. Social club is disallowed. While trade is allowed. That means we need to add subscription for total social club back to the net profit, which is 48. You can see subscription social club 48. Let's go back to that general expenses. We have another general expenses called printing. Is printing allowable? Printing, is it allowed? Printing and stationery.
Yes, allowable.
It's allowable. We now have another legal, another general expense. That one is called legal cost. That legal cost comprises of two items. Legal cost on new lease on new premises, 60,000. Legal cost on customer claim, 20,000. Does any one of them allow or any one of them disallow? Does any one of them allow? Does any one of them disallow? Legal costs on acquisition of new lease. Is it allowed? No. Legal costs for customer claim. Customer want to make a claim. You pay legal costs. It's allowed. But legal costs for acquisition of new premises. We have finished general expenses. That 500,000.
Please, I have a question.
What is your question, madam?
The lease on new premises, is it not for the business?
It's for the business, but it's capital in nature. It's capital expenditure. If you go and look at the list of disallowable expenses I gave to you, I said legal cost for acquisition of new lease is disallowed. Why do we disallow it? They're supposed to capitalize it. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now, after general expenses, carry cost 200,000. Is it allowed?
It's an expense.
It's allowed. It's for the business. Lighting, is it allowed?
Allowed.
Electricity cost is allowed. It's for the business. Salaries and wages, is it allowed?
It's allowed.
It's
Depends.
allowed. Rent and rate, is it allowed?
Allowed.
Repair and maintenance, is it allowed?
Yes.
Yes, but we are giving additional information regarding to repair and maintenance. Additional information C. Look at that repair and maintenance of 400,000. How they get it? Number one is decoration of new premises. Number two is what? Repair of plants. Repair of plants. Renovation of old factory. Out of this one, which one is allowed? Which one is allowed?
Repairs of plants.
When you add the three of them, you get 400,000. Which one is allowed? Which one is disallowed?
Decoration
is not allowed. Why?
Because it's of the new premises and it's capital expenditure.
It's capital initial. Repair of plant income.
It's allowed because it's for the office.
Plants that they are using, they repair it. It's allowed. Renovation, is it allowed or disallowed? Renovation is disallowed. Why? Because anything renovation costs is a capital cost. It's capital expenditure. So renovation, decorations too is disallowed. The two of them is disallowed. After that, which other one? Staff welfare, is it allowed? It is allowed. It's for business. Telephone and postage is allowed. Motor running expenses is allowed. Transport, traveling expenses is allowed. Donation. Donation, is it allowed or disallowed?
There's additional information for it.
What is the additional information?
Political parties, ICAN.
What is the additional information? They said donation comprises of donation to political party. They allow?
No.
No, sir.
Donation to ICAN. Is it allowed? Part of the list of organizations you can donate to, ICAN is listed. It's allowed. Boy Scout of Nigeria, is it allowed? Yes, Boy Scout of Nigeria is NGO. It's part of the list of organizations and it's allowed. Society for Blind, is it allowed? It is allowed. It's part of NGO. They are allowed. The only donation that is not allowed is political parties. So that means your total salary expenses will give you 2,41,481,000. You add it back to your net profit. Like I said, if you want to compute adjusted profit, add back the salary expenses, you less what?
Non-taxable
income. So let's go to the income side. Does any of the...
Hello, sir. Sorry, I have a question.
Yes.
The other time you said donation to ICAN is allowed, but you told us once that if they say donation to ICAN without putting, I think ICAN housing something of it, I don't know. That's only
ICAN building fund.
Yes, you said that's the only allowable one.
Maybe it's my friend that told you that, my second. What I know is when they said donation to ICAN, they are referring to donation to ICAN building fund.
Okay.
It is allowed, my brother.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Profit on sale of investment, is it allowed? Is it taxable or non-taxable?
Non-taxable.
Anything profit on sale of this asset is non-taxable. So it's part of non-taxable. Dividends received gross. Is dividend subjected to tax? Because it's a frank investment income. Taxable. So we go and learn the two of them. Under my non-taxable income, number one is profit on sale of investment. Number two is dividend received. Two of them, they are income, but they are not taxable. I will less them from adjustment. The sum of the two of them is 1 million when you less them. At the end of the day, your adjusted profit, you are going to get 26,433,000.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Now, do we not pay withholding tax on dividends?
Yes, we pay withholding tax, but withholding tax we pay on dividends is a final tax. Because it's a final tax, you cannot subject it to other type of tax. And you cannot use the withholding tax to reduce your tax. That is the reason why dividend is treated as non-taxable income. That withholding tax you pay on dividend is a final tax. It will not be subjected to company income tax again. And this place, we want to compute company income tax. So dividend will be treated as non-taxable income.
Okay, noted, sir. Thank you.
You are getting your adjusted profits. Anytime you get adjusted profits, before the adjusted profit can be assessed to tax, what do you minus from the adjusted profit? Before the adjusted profit can be assessed to tax, what do you minus?
Loss relief and capital allowance.
We minus loss capital allowance, most especially capital allowance. So we minus it from our adjusted profit. What do we get? Our capital allowance is 1537, 1536. When you minus it, your total profit is going to be 897. Now you cannot compute tax liability for this company. You cannot compute what? Tax liability. This is a company. What type of tax this company will pay? First, they will pay CIT, company income tax. At what rate will the company income tax be? It's going to be at 20%, not 30%. Why? If we go and add the income of the company of this company, where is the income? Gross profit is the taxable income. It is less than 100 million. It is not more than 100 million. Anytime your income is less than 100 million, your company income tax rate will be what? 20%. Zero from 25 million to 100 million. Your company income tax is 20%. But anytime your income is more than 100 million, Your company income tax rate will be what? It's going to be what?
30%.
30%. So that is the reason why I use 20%. And company income tax is based on what profit? Is it total profit? Total profit is also called taxable profit. Company income tax, is it based on total profit? It is based on total profit. That means 20% of 24,897,000. It will give you 4,979,000. 4,979,000. Education tax. What is the rate of education tax? As at which of the year of assessment? 2026 year of assessment. What is the rate of education tax? %3. Education tax is computed on what profit? Is it on total profit or adjusted profit?
Accessible profits.
Accessible profit means adjusted profits. It's computed on adjusted profits. 3% of adjusted profits. 3% of 26,433,000. It will give you 793. Another tax company can pay is called what?
Police development levy.
What is the rate? 0.005% of adjusted profit. It will give you 1.32. That is it on this question, computation of adjusted profit. We have solved second question. Ladies and gentlemen, I have other questions here and the solution is there. Please, let's study more on adjusted profit. Let's look at their solutions. Let's study more on adjusted profit. Let's look at their solutions.
I have a question, please.
What is your question, madam?
Okay, I thought that we can only determine the tax rates for the company based on the turnover. But in this question, I don't think they provided the turnover. So how do we determine that it was
they did not provide turnover in this question. But what do we use to represent turnover in this question? Go to the income side.
The gross profit, yes.
Yes, that is the information we have. That is what we are going to use.
Okay.
Yes. Is your question clear?
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
I think on this issue, maybe we will still have a general class. Because what I've learned before is that if we did not have that turnover, we should assume a 30% rate.
You should assume 30%. My ladies and gentlemen, the income side given to us, this is the turnover we are going to use. 44,847,000. This is the turnover. Assuming we are not giving this, that is when you can assume 30%. That is what I know. Do you understand? You are right. But we are giving the gross profit. We use the gross profit to replace the turnover. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have so many questions here that we can touch on adjusted profit. I would like us to study the question. I want us to go back to personal income tax. There is a question that relates to adjusted profit on personal income tax question that we solve. We have not solved that question because it's an adjusted profit, but it's a personal income tax question. So that will take us back to personal income tax. I want us to go back to personal income tax. Let's go and look at a question that relates to adjusted profits. Personal income tax computation. There is one of the questions there, it relates to adjusted profits. Examinable question 4. Examinable question 4. Somebody should help us read this question. Examinable question 4. Somebody should help us read. Oh, yeah. Examinable question 4. I've shared it already now. Please help us read it. I'm fasting already. I'm fasting. Mr. James Akpogbo, somebody should help us.
Mr. James Akpogbo was born on August 1st, 1949 in Kaduna. He attended Community Primary School, Kaduna, and graduated from the University of Ibadan in 1974. He was employed as the site engineer of XYZ Limited in Jos and spent 20 years working for this company. On his retirement in 1995, he sought an advice of his friends on profitable ventures in Nigeria. Thereafter, he decided to register James Akpogbo Enterprises, which is into buying and distribution of building materials. He commenced business on June 4, 1996, making up accounts to December 31 every year. The statement of profit or loss of James Akpogbo Enterprises for the year ended December 31, 2023 is as follows. Revenue, 29,500,000. Cost of sales, less 15,200,000. Gross profit, 14,300,000. Other income, 800,000, amounts to 15,100,000. Administrative expenses, staff salaries, 4 million. Printing and stationery, 248,000. Postages and telephone, 36,200. Electricity, 68,100. Rent, 800,000. Donation, 50,000. Repair and maintenance, 41,500. Defalcation and embezzlement, 120,000. VAT on equipment, 25,000. Entertainment, 196,000. Allowance for doubtful debt, 48,000. Legal fees and other professional charges, 200,000. Audit fees, 250,000. Bank charges and commission, 147,500. Depreciation, 82,100. Net profit, 8,787,600. You are provided with the following additional information. 1. Income comprises reversal of allowance for doubtful debt, earlier disallowed, 674,900. Sales of scrap, 125,100 naira. 2. During the year, you received the gross dividend of 220,000 naira. 3. Donation was made to XYZ political party. 4. Capital allowance of 48,000 naira was agreed with the relevant tax authority. 5. An accounting clerk in the organization was involved in the defalcation and embezzlement. 6. Mr. James Akpogbo has a life assurance policy on his life, for which he pays an annual premium of 600,000. 7. Mr. James Akpogbo has 4 children and maintains his aged parents. 1947, Mr. James Akobo makes the following contribution per annum to National Housing Fund 120,000, National Health Insurance Scheme 48,000. Required, compute the tax payable by James Akobo for the relevant assessment year.
Okay. What type of tax Mr. James Akobo will pay? What type of tax is going to pay on his business? Personal income tax. Because it's a James Akobo enterprise, it will pay personal income tax. That means before we said, now on which income, on which profit are we, on which income are we subjecting the personal income tax on? On his adjusted profit. Abi? On his adjusted profit. Now, we are asked to compute the tax liability. Adjusted profit, which is trading income under personal income tax, is assessed to tax on what basis? Is it on actual year basis or preceding year basis? It is assessed to tax on preceding year basis. The year ended in this question is December 2023. That means the year of assessment is going to be what?
2024.
2024. Let me just give you a recap. And our personal income tax, we normally divide our personal income tax into two. Computation of personal income tax, we divide it into two. We have earned income and what?
Unearned income.
On earned income. Under the earned income, we have employment income. And which income again? Under the earned income?
Trading income.
Trading income. What type of income we want to subject it to tax here in this question of Mr. James Akobo?
Trading income.
Trading income, income coming from business of that taxpayer. We need to first of all compute adjusted profits. There are some expenses here, they are disallowed. So we start with net profit. My net profit in this question is 8,787,600. 8,787,600. We add back disallowable expenses. Let's go to the expenses side. Let's go and look at those expenses. Which one is allowed? Which one is disallowed? First expenses we have staff salary. Allow or disallow? Staff salary, allow or disallow?
Allowed.
Allow. Printing and stationery, allow or disallow?
Allow.
Postage and telephone, allow or disallow?
Allow.
Electricity, allow or disallow?
Allow.
Is allowed. Rent, allow or disallow?
Allowed.
Is allowed. Rent is allowed. What about donation? Is it allowed or disallowed?
Allow.
Donation is allowed. Donation to who? You ask yourself. They just write donation like 50,000. Are you going to allow it? They do not state the person they will donate to. You are going to disallow it. But in this question, we state the organization that we made the donation to. Let's go and see whether we should allow it or not. Note 3. Additional note 3. Donation is made to who? Oh yeah.
XYZ political party.
Allowed.
Is it allowed or disallowed?
Disallowed.
It is disallowed by people. Donation is disallowed. To XYZ political party is disallowed. So donation, I will disallow it. 50,000. Apart from donation, after donation, repair and maintenance, is it allowed or disallowed?
Allowed.
Defecation and embezzlement, is it allowed or disallowed?
Disallowed. Not allowed.
It's not allowed. It's not allowed. I will add it back to net profit. So if you go and look, the solution, defecation and embezzlement, 120 is added back. After defecation and investment, the next item we have is what? VAT on equipment. Is it allowed or disallowed? VAT on equipment. Is it allowed or disallowed? It is disallowed. Why? You ask yourself, equipment, is it an expenses? Equipment, is it an expenses? No, it's an asset. The VAT on that equipment should be added to the cost of equipment. It should be capitalized. But in a question, if you see VAT on printing and stationery is an allowable expenses. The VAT too will be allowed. But equipment is a disallowable expense because it's a capital expenditure. The VAT on these too will be disallowed. Do you get my point?
Yes.
So I will disallow it by adding it back to net profit. Entertainment. Entertainment. Is it allowed or disallowed?
Depend on additional info.
Do we have additional info on entertainment? We don't have additional info on entertainment. What do we now do?
So it's disallowed.
Entertainment. Entertainment of customer is allowed. Entertainment of friend and family is not allowed. But in a question, they just write that entertainment. They do not give you additional information. You assume it's entertainment of family and friend, and you disallow it. I'm going to disallow it. I will add it back to the net profit. Do you understand my points? So entertainment is going to be disallowed. Entertainment will be disallowed. After that, allowance for doubtful debt. Allowance for doubtful debt means provision for doubtful debt. Is it allowed or disallowed?
Disallowed.
Disallowed.
We are going to assume this provision for doubtful debt. What are we going to assume is?
It's general.
We are going to assume it is general, and we are going to disallow it. Add it back to the net profit. Since it's not stated either general or specific, we are going to assume it's general and we disallow it. Legal and other expenses, other professional charges, is it allowed or disallowed? Legal and other professional charges, is it allowed or disallowed?
Allowed.
Allowed.
It is allowed. What about audit fee? Is it allowed or disallowed?
It's allowed.
Allowed.
Huh?
Allowed.
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 It is allowed. Audit fee is allowed. So, the next one is what?
Bank charges and commission.
Bank charges, is it allowed or disallowed?
It's allowed.
Allowed.
It's allowed. Bank charges is allowed. So we are done with expenses. We are done with expenses. We are done with expenses. Which other one are we going? What about the income? Let's look at the income side. Do we have any income that we can disallow? Do we have any income that we can disallow? Let's look at the income side. Depreciation, is it allowed or disallowed?
Allowed.
Is disallowed.
It's disallowed. Depreciation is disallowed. We add it back to the net profit. Now, if you go to the revenue, they have to revenue. They also have another one called what? Other income of how much? 800,000. Abi? This other income of 800,000, are we giving the breakdown? Are we giving the breakdown?
We're not saying if the breakdown is good.
Let's go to additional information. Are we giving breakdown on any income? Additional information 1. Look at it. Additional information 1. What is the breakdown? Additional information 1. Look at it. Income comprises of what? That 800,000, they give us the breakdown. That other income. One of them is what? Somebody should help me read. One of them is what?
Reversal of allowance for doubtful debts earlier disallowed.
One of the income is allowance for doubtful debt, provision for doubtful debt that they disallow. They did not allow it as an expenses. They now recover it. They now reverse it as an income. My question is it taxable income or non-taxable income? My question is it taxable income or non-taxable income?
Non-taxable.
Why is it non-taxable?
Because provision for doubtful debt is on debtors and is not part of trading this income.
You are right, my brother. Why do we say it's a non-taxable? That allowance for doubtful debt, we treat it as a disallowable expenses. You understand? Any income coming from disallowable expenses, it will be treated as non-taxable income. The reason why we disallow it is, they say reversal of allowance for doubtful debt earlier disallowed. Since the expenses side is disallowed, the income too will be treated as non-taxable income. Do you understand? But if they said reversal of allowance for doubtful debt earlier allowed, are we going to treat it as taxable income or non-taxable income?
We'll tax it.
We tax it because they allow the expenses. Any income coming from allowable expenses is going to be taxable. Do you understand my point? So this reversal will be treated as non-taxable income. This reversal will be treated as non-taxable income. So it will be treated as non-taxable income. Now, second income there, second income that make it 800,000 is called sales of scrap. Sales of scrap, is it taxable or non-taxable? Sales of scrap, income coming from sales of scrap, is it taxable or non-taxable?
Non-taxable.
Why is it non-taxable?
Scrap
It's
comes
profit
from
of
assets.
Scrap is an asset.
Yes.
And we are told profit on disposal of this asset is a non-taxable. I mean,
yes, sir.
ladies and gentlemen, profit on disposal of assets, office assets, is different from sales of scrap. Scrap means obsolete material. Material that is not useful again. I mean,
Okay.
profit on disposal of fixed assets. Why do we say it's not taxable? Who can tell me why we don't tax profit on disposal of fixed assets?
Because of initial and capital allowance.
Because profit on disposal of fixed assets is going to be subjected to another type of tax called what?
Capital gain tax.
Capital gain tax. That is the reason why under personal income tax or company income tax, we don't tax profit on disposal of fixed assets because it was already subjected to another type of tax called what? Capital gain tax. My sister, my brother, sales of scrap. If he sells scrap, can you pay capital gain tax on scrap? We can only pay capital gain tax on assets that have value. But scrap means obsolete material. Scrap is not subjected to capital gain tax. Since scrap is not subjected to capital gain tax, under company income tax and personal income tax, when you sell scrap, is it subjected to tax? Is it taxable income or non-taxable income? It will be taxable since it's not subjected to capital gain tax. It will be taxable under personal income tax or company income tax. Sales of scrap, just note that it's different from profit on disposal of fixed assets. Profit on disposal of fixed assets is treated as non-taxable income. Sales of scrap is a taxable income. Know that. Add that in your mind. It's another area that they use to convince students. So out of the income of 800,000, the only one that will be treated as a non-taxable income will be reversal of allowance earlier disallowed. So let's go and compute our computation. We add back depreciation. We add back VAT on equipment. We add back defalcation. We add back donation. We add back entertainment. We add back allowance for doubtful debt. The one we are going to deduct, non-taxable income, reversal of allowance for doubtful debt earlier disallowed. At the end of the day, our adjusted profit will result into 8,633,800. 8,633,800. From adjusted profits, what are we going to less before adjusted profit can be accepted, subjected to tax? What are we going to less? What are we going to less from adjusted profits? Anytime we get adjusted profit, we normally less one allowance now. Tell me now.
Capital allowance.
Capital allowance. How much is the capital allowance? 48. I will less it from adjusted profits. That means the total profit that will be subjected to tax is going to be 858,800. You know, we want to compute this Mr. James Akpobon is going to pay what type of tax? Personal income tax. Remember, after you get your trading income in your personal income tax, which is your total income, this is your total income. From your total income in your personal income tax, what do you less from your total income? Can you still remember the formula of your personal income tax? From your total income, what do you less? You less tax exempt. From your total income, you less what? Tax exempt. From your total income, you less tax exempt. In this question, please, let's search. Do you have tax exempt in this question? Who can tell me the tax exempt that we have in this question? Who can show me the tax exempt? If you show me, that means you have understand personal income tax to some extent. What are the tax exempt in this question?
NHIS. NHF.
And
National Housing Funds and National Health Insurance Scheme.
2. Any other tax exempt? Read. Any other one? Any other one? Somebody else to tell me any other one. Apart from
life assurance.
Life what?
Assurance policy.
Life assurance policy. I want to ask a question. How many tax exempt do we have in personal income tax? Who can name them? Who can name them? We have life assurance policy. We have National Housing Fund, National Health Insurance Scheme. Which other one? Which other one? Who can remind me? There are remaining 2 that we have, apart from the one we have in this question. Which other life tax exempt?
Pension Commission.
Pension contribution. We have that. We also have what? Gratuity. 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 We have gratuity. Gratuity. You can see gratuity. Look at the tax exempt we have. We need to know them. We need to know them. Please. Go back to question of James Akogbon. We have 3 tax exempts. We have 3 tax exempts. Life assurance policy. The premium is 600,000. We have NHF, National Housing Fund, 120. We have NHIS. My total tax exempt is 748. I will minus it from the total income, which is the total profit. I will get gross income of how much? 7,837,800. If I get the gross income, after getting your gross income, you will less what? Tax relief. You are going to less tax relief. In this question, what is your tax relief? How do we get tax relief? Who can tell me how do we get tax relief? Consolidated relief allowance. How do we get it? Higher of what?
200,000.
Or
1% of gross income.
in this question, which one is higher? Is it 200,000 or 1% of gross income? One percent of this gross income, it will give you 78,378. That is what it's going to give you. Is it higher than 200,000? No. That means 200,000 is higher than 1% of gross income. I will take 200,000. Do you understand my point? Do you understand? Assuming 1% is higher, I will not take 200,000. I will take 1%. Which of the gross income amount will be higher than 200,000? Which of the range of gross income amount will be higher than 200,000? Who can tell me? The gross income that started from 21 million. You know, 1% of 21 million is give you 210. That means it's higher than 200,000. So, to this question, I will take 200,000. Plus what? 20% of gross income. 20% of 7,837,800. 20% of it. It will give us 1,500,000 and what? 67,560. That means my total consolidated relief allowance, if I add 200,000 plus 1,567,560, if I add them together, it will give me 1,767,560. I will less it from gross income. If I less it from the gross income, how much am I going to get? Chargeable income. The chargeable income I'm going to get with 6,070,240. 6,070,240. That is the chargeable income I'm going to get. From this chargeable income, I can now start computing tasks. I will now start computing tasks. Personal income tax table. First 300,000 at 7%. It will give me 21,000. Second 300,000 at how many percent? 11%. It will give me 33,000. Can I go further? Can I go further? Next 500,000 at what percentage? At 15%. Net 500,000 at 15%. It will give me 75,000. Next 500,000 at 19%. It will give me 95,000. Next 1.6 at how many percent? 21%. It will give me 336,000. Now, I want to ask a question. What will be the balance? What will be the balance? What you will do this time around? 300,000 plus another 300,000 plus 500,000 plus 500,000 plus 1.6. If you add all of them together, how much is it giving you? How much? How much is it giving you if you add them together? Oh yeah, now let the class be interactive.
3.2.
3.2. That 3.2, I will minus it from where? I will minus it from. I will minus it from my chargeable income. I will minus it from my chargeable income. If I minus 3.2 from my chargeable income, what is the balance? What is the balance? Minus 3.2 from this chargeable income, what is the balance? What is the balance?
2,870,240.
If you minus 3.2 from chargeable income, what is the balance? Oh yeah,
2 million.
use calculator.
2,870,240.
You know how we get this now. 2,870,240. That one will be at what percentage? At 24%. At what? Any income above 3.2 is going to be taxed at what percentage? At 24%. That means 2,870,260 at 24%. It will give you what? 600,888,858. That is the tax deal. The total tax now is going to be 1,248,858. 1,200 and what? 248,858. That is tax, total personal income tax paid by Mr. James Akobo. Do you understand? Any question here? Do we have any question regarding this question? Please do not hesitate to ask. You can see how we compute adjusted profits. We now convert it to personal income tax. You can see that in this question. Please, let's take note of it. Let's take note of it. Do we have any question regarding this? In the absence of no question, let's look at this question. Mr. John Agin. It shouldn't take us like maybe like 15 minutes. Mr. John Agin. Somebody can help us read the question. It's a good question. Please, let's look at it. Mr. John Agin. Somebody can help us read. Mr. John Agin.
Mr. John Ajime lives in Ikorodu area of Lagos State, but has a business known as JA Ventures, an industrial start producing organization located in Ibadan, Oyo State. For the year ended 31st December 2023, Mr. John Ajime, who is also a legal practitioner, completed tax form A and forwarded this to the relevant tax authority with his income and expenditure profile attached. The following are extracts from his profit statement for the period ended 31st December 2023. Income, gross profit start business, 14 million. Income from rent, net, 10,800,000. Income from legal services, gross, 6 million. Profits from disposal of 2 motor vehicles, 1,800,000. Total profit for the year, 32,600,000. Expenditures, salary and wages, 12,400,000. Purchase of legal books, 2,400,000. Office rent, 1,200,000. Government rates and / electricity, 1,800,000. Subscription, 600,000. Donations to Ikorodu Brothers Club, 1,500,000. Depreciation, 420,000. Cost of 10,000 ordinary shares in ABC PLC, 1 million. Provision for bad and doubtful debts, general, 860,000. Bank charges, 60,000. Payment of fine for industrial pollution, 2.4 million. Other expenses allowed, 720,000. Profit is okay. The net profit is 7,240,000. On invitation to the tax office, the following additional information were obtained through an interview with Mr. John Ajime. A. 900,000 of the amount of salaries and wages was for the driver of Mr. Ajime's wife. B. Subscription comprises of 150,000 for Mr. who is a chartered accountant, 200,000 for Mr. John Ajime himself, who is a lawyer, and the balance for the employees of John Ajime and co-legal practitioners. C. 50% of government rate and electricity is for the personal house of Mr. John Ajime. D. Capital allowances agreed with the Revenue Service is 150% of the value of depreciation. E. Mr. John Ajime has a life assurance policy with Safe Life Insurance Company, $1,500,000 per annum on 1st April 2023. Required: 1. State the tax assessment year of Mr. John Ajime. 2. To which tax authority will Mr. John Ajime remit his tax? 3. State the value of withholding tax on rent remitted on behalf of Mr. John Ajime. 4. Compute the tax liability of Mr. John Ajime for the relevant.
Thank you very much. Number one question. Somebody should answer me. The year end in this question is for the year ended 31st December 2023. What will be the tax year, the year of assessment? The question says, state the tax year of Mr. Gaines agreement. Since the year end is December 2023, what will be the year of assessment?
The preceding year, 2024.
2024. 2024. Do you understand? 2024 is the year of assessment. 1 mark. Second mark. To which tax authority will Mr. Gaines Ajime remit his tax to? Which tax authority does he going to remit to? LIRS. Look at it. Mr. Gaines Ajime is living in where? Where does he live?
He's living in Ibadan.
Lagos State.
He lives in where?
He lives in Lagos.
In Ikorodu, but his business is in where?
Oyo State.
Oyo State. So which tax authority will Mr. Gaines Ajime remit his tax to?
Ibadan Tax Authority.
Not Ibadan. Where does he reside? Personal income tax is based on residential rule.
LIRS.
Which state do you reside?
LIRS.
So you need to state it clearly. Lagos State Internal what?
Revenue Service.
Revenue Service. So look at my question. Mr. Gaines Ajime, my solution. Mr. Gaines Ajime will remit his tax to who? Lagos State Internal Revenue. Being the tax authority in charge of the resident, Ikorodu, where Mr. Gaines Ajime is residing. Third question said what? State the value of withholding tax on rent remitted on behalf of Mr. James Ajime. One of his income is income coming from what? Rent. That they write in front of this rent, it means what? It means withholding tax has been deducted from this rent. The question is now asking us how much. How do you know the withholding tax deducted from this rent? In this my question, the withholding tax rate on rent is 10%. You know, the withholding tax rate on rent is 10%. That means the gross of the rent is how many percent? 100. The net is going to be how many percent?
90%.
90%. That means this 10.8 is 90%. The examiner is now asking, how much will be the 10%? If I want to get the 10% without tax deducted, I will first of all get the 100%. If I want to get the 100%, I will say 100 over 90 times the amount of the net. I will get gross, which is 100%. The gross is now 12 million. 100 over 90 times 10,800,000. You will get 12 million. Since you get 12 million as the gross and you know the net, for you to get the withholding tax, gross minus net, gross is 12 million. The net is what? 10.8. That means the withholding tax will be what? 1.2. 12 million minus 10.8, it will give me 1.2. That is the withholding tax. Compute first, based on this question, give it to us. What are we going to get first? Who can tell me? What are we going to get before we can? Who can tell me, based on this question, what are we going to get first?
The taxable profit.
Taxable profit, which is the taxable profit. Adjusted profit with less capital allowance, we get the taxable profit. That means we need to compute the adjusted profit first, and we convert the adjusted profit to total profit or taxable profit. How do we get the adjusted profit? Net profit. How much is the net profit? 7,240,000. Add back the salariable expenses. In this question, let's go to the expenses. Which expenses is disallowed? Salary and wages, is it disallowed? Salaries and wages, is it disallowed or allowed?
Is allowed.
Is allowed. Are we having any additional information on salaries and wages? Let's go. Do we have additional information on salaries and wages? Look at additional information we have on salaries and wages. Look at it. A, tell me, 900,000 out of the salaries and wages was for the driver of who? Mr. Agime's wife. Is this 900,000 allowable or not allowed? Is it allowed or not allowed?
Not allowed.
It is not allowed because it's a personal expense. Private expenses is not for business. Mr. James' wife driver is not for business. It's his own personal life. That means out of the salaries and wages, 900,000 will be allowed. Private. The next one, after salaries and wages, look at the other expenses we have. Purchase of what? Ledger book. Is it allowed or disallowed? purchase of legal books.
It's allowed, sir.
Legal books. Is it allowed or disallowed? Allowed.
Allowed. Allowed.
I will not allow it. Why? That legal book is a capital expenditure, my brother. Is what? It's an asset. It's not printing. That legal book, they will use it for so many years. It's an asset. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So I will not allow it. I will disallow it because it's a capital expenditure. Office rent, 1.2 million. Is it allowed or disallowed? Allowed. It's allowed. Rent and electricity, 1.8 million. Is it allowed or disallowed? Rent and electricity, is it allowed or disallowed?
Allowed.
It is allowed. It is allowed. Rent and electricity is allowed. But look at additional information. Look at additional information. What is the additional information on rent and electricity? What is the additional information on rent and electricity? Additional information C. Somebody should help us read. Additional information C. What is additional information C saying?
50% of government rates and electricity is for the personal house of Mr. John Ajime.
That means 50% of rate and electricity will be what? It's going to be what? It's going to be disallowed. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
50% will be disallowed. Rate and electricity. Out of 1.8, the 50%. That 50% out of 1.8 is that 50% is 900,000. It's going to be disallowed. So the next one after subscription 600,000. Is it allowed or disallowed? If we are not giving a note, subscription is allowed. Are we giving a note regarding to subscription here? Are we giving the note? Look at the notes. Out of that subscription of 600,000, 150 is for who? Mr. James' wife, who is a chartered accountant. 150 is for him. Are we going to allow it?
We are going to disallow it.
We are going to disallow it. Because his wife is not working for business. His wife is for his own personal life. Why the second one, 200,000, is for Mr. James, who is a lawyer? Are we going to allow it? Yes, we are going to allow it. Because part of the income of this company is coming from legal practitioner. It's going to be allowed. Why the balance is for Mr. James' staff for the legal practitioner? So that means out of the subscription, 150 is going to be disallowed. It's personal expenses. the one of Mr. James' wife. Is going to be disallowed. After that, which other one? Which other one do we have? Donation to Ikorodu Brother Club. Is it allowed or disallowed?
It's allowed.
Huh?
Loud.
It's allowed?
Disallowed.
It's going to be disallowed. Ikorodu Brother Club is not recognized. It will be disallowed. Depreciation. Is it allowed or disallowed?
It's allowed.
Is what?
Disallowed.
Is disallowed. Depreciation too is disallowed. So it's disallowed. Cost of ordinary share in ABC Limited. Is it allowed or disallowed? Cost of ordinary share in ABC Limited. Is it allowed or disallowed? They buy shares in another company. They now put it as an expenses. Is it allowed or disallowed? Oh yeah, now it is disallowed because that cost of ordinary share in ABC Limited will be part of asset in their balance sheet. It's an investment. It's an investment. It will be disallowed. So cost of ordinary share in their balance sheet, it will serve as an asset. It will be disallowed. Provision for bad debt, general provision for bad debt. Is it allowed or disallowed? It is disallowed too. It is disallowed. Bank charges, is it allowed or disallowed? Bank charges is allowed. Payment for fine for industrial pollution, is it allowed or disallowed? Fine for industrial pollution, is it allowed or disallowed? Anything fines and penalties, if you see it in an expensive, you are going to do what? Disallow it. It's going to be disallowed. Yeah. So at the end of the day, my adjusted profit, I will add back depreciation, purchase of legal book, subscription, donation to Ikorodu Club, cost of ordinary share, general provision for bad debt, salaries and wages, payment for industrial pollution. I will add them, all of them. I will add them. If I add them together, at the end of the day, I'm going to get my adjusted profit. I will get 17,170,000. My adjusted profit. Now, under the income, look at the income type. Look at the income side. Which of the income is non-taxable? Profit on disposal of 2 motor vehicles. That means profit on disposal of fixed asset. It is non-taxable. So, ladies and gentlemen, we continue from here next week by God's grace. So this is 7 o'clock. Another class will start by now. So thank you for having me. Have a nice day.